Okay, I'm going to take you back to about 2011 when we had one crazy snowstorm. We get these snowstorms, once in a while. A lot of times they drop a lot of snow. When you shovel your driveway and have all the graders and things do, they pile up these piles, and you make your own piles on the sides and the back of the house, and you get a lot of snow built up. Well, by the time spring comes, that's a whole lot of water, and that's the problem here. So, after coming home tonight, I have a giant puddle in my basement. And it's a giant mess. It was already a mess before the puddle, but now it's a giant puddle mess. Okay, I'm sorry if I seem a little flustered, but the notification that I got today has just totally aggravated my father, and totally aggravated me. I'm more one to kind of blow it off, but at this point, I need to speak about it. So I'd also encourage you to leave your opinions on what you think. Maybe I am too cluttered. But let's talk about the flood problem some more. So back in 2011, we're back in 2016 now, and normal YouTube land. I do have old video from previous. Back in 2011, we had all that snow, and it filled this basement area good. So when Dad came over and actually moved in with me, he came over from BC, moved in, and we added him to the lease, and we built these the workbenches downstairs, and we made sure to keep those up off the ground in case there was flooding. And as you see, the squeegee is out. We have been using that squeegee. So what happens is that window well right there fills up, and once it gets to this level, it starts spewing through, and you can see where it's come down. You can see where it's washed down numerous times. We've run this line up through here so that it's able to drain straight down into the drain. The problem is you need to get a suction, you need to get some kind of siphoning action on that, or use a funnel or something. And we've tried using the funnel a couple times to get it automatically started, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This last time I tried priming it with just a little Princess Auto pump from the solar project I was working on, and we managed to get it going the one time, not the second time. And I mean, we've got to be here to maintain the draining. So I mean, if we're not here, if we've gone camping or something like that, this basement's just going to flood if it gets really, really bad. So each time that can create a whole lot of damage. Now, we brought this problem up again last year after we had some issues, and there was no solution to the problem. The best solution is probably regrading outside, and I'll get to that. But the simplest or cheapest solution is something Dad sent a letter for on the 30th of June. And let's go here. So, Westcorp staff, to whom it may concern, I'm just wondering if you could provide us with a pump similar to the link. When it rains hard, the water fills one window well, and it comes inside through the holes in the window vent. It runs down the wall and eventually finds the drain. With the pump, we can drain the window well when needed, preventing a flood, hopefully. I'm afraid the only other solution is to regrade the property or provide proper drainage in the window wells. Thinking a pump would be cheaper. Any help with this ongoing problem would be nice. So, again, this is an ongoing problem. I have proof of it from 2011, before Dad moved in, before his boat was on the side, before my truck tent was even built. When we talked about this problem last year with Linda, She suggested that the stuff on the side of the house, namely the boat and the truck tent frame, were creating the drainage problems. Now, we'll go take a look at that. We'll go take a look at the grade of the land. We'll go take a look at the window well. Because today, I received this. Now, keep in mind, the past couple weeks, I've been helping a buddy out get a rideable lawn tractor going for his business. I've helped him finance part of that, so technically I own it. And we got the engine changed, we got it all fixed up, and as of Monday, he should have a plate and insurance on it. There's a mistake on the actual bill of sale. One of the numbers in the VIN is duplicated, and he needs the seller to initial that off. That will happen Monday when he is back in town. That trailer will have a plate, and then we can get rid of that from this location. So that problem is sorted out. Everything else is on that trailer now. So there is no worries with the gear, and I could have been talked to personally about what was actually on the side of the house by the driveway. Part of it was in cleanup phase, and part of it was just waiting for Monday, essentially, to get the rest of it all packed up and out of there. But today, day after Canada Day, I receive, during the inspection of Griesbach Community Today, it has been noted that all common areas around your home have been extremely cluttered, unkempt, unsafe, and probable damage as a result of these conditions. Please be advised we are retracting your release renewal offer dated June 8th, 2016 due to a serious breach of terms in your residential tenancy agreement signed August 7th, 2015. The Residential Tenancy Act, which states as follows. The tenant will not in any significant manner interfere with the rights of either the landlord or other tenants in the premises, common areas, or the property of which they form a part. I haven't done that. I'm sorry. The tenant will not endanger persons or the property in the premises, the common areas of the property of which they form a part. Again, we have not done that. Sorry. I'd really love to see what you have as proof of that. The tenant will not do or permit significant damage to the premises, the common areas, or the property which they form part. Again, have not done that. In fact, I maintain a lot of it myself because the ground staff here do not cut my lawn, and they also do not weed whack the lawn. So they very rarely get this area done. They very rarely do it. They just don't do it. They've had problems here before because they cut down tulips, and they've cut down other flowers and parts in the garden. They've just chopped it up with the weed whacker. So I think after the complaints, they just stopped doing it, which I'm kind of fine with. But at the same time, when I have a mower to be able to do that sitting in my yard, I'm sorry, I have a mower in my yard. I cut my lawn. I also cut the corner lot beside it too because they didn't do a good job of that. So I'm pretty sure that Linda has a personal problem with either my father or I. And this is a little vindictive. I'm not sure what it's all about. We've had a number of problems reported. None of them have been solved. None. Not one except for a broken fridge. And when that was replaced, they tore up the floor to drag it into the house. They drug it across the hardwood floor, they drug it across the kitchen floor, and they left marks all over. That was documented, and they came and took photos of that. But this is unreal. Dad asked for a pump. For a flooding problem we've had year after year after year, we keep paying more and more and more money for no service. So Dad asked for a pump to fix a problem. They say, no, sorry, you're too dirty. Now, just a quick look at the window well here and what's going on here. So we do have garden hose coming up through that hole there. When it first gets to the line, it leaks from all the way around. There is no seal there, so yeah, and we'll take you out to the outside. We'll show you the grade, we'll show you the boat, and yeah, show you the cluttered area. Okay, starting in the front yard, got the vines, the clock, chairs. do have my bikes out in the front. I like to be able to see them from the window because people have tried to steal them. Even with your GPS security here, those guys are horrible. That's the worst security company you could even purchase, and they're ripping you off horribly. They don't stop when there's a problem. But here's the grading issues. So in the front here, we have a massive dip. Luckily, the soil out here sucks up the water pretty good. No major issues in the front window well. So this area pools pretty big. Down here pools, all pools into here. We do have some extensions that come onto here, so we'll have to get those back on. But we've added extensions that bring the water out into the middle of the field, some or into the middle of the corner lot. That helps, but really this area isn't too bad of a problem. This one drains fairly well, so we don't have any kind of flood problem on that window. But when you look over at this window well, we have a slope coming off the corner lot, and we have a dip into here, so a lot of water ends up pooling and coming down through here into the window well. And then we have Kitty, and up from Kitty, all in this corner, is all a downward slope into this window well. So when it rains heavily, all the water pools in this area and gets down into this corner here, where you can see it's dug itself a channel and works its way in through the side and just pours in. So what Linda had said last year when we brought this up to her again, that this boat, so there's Dad's small little boat here, a couple of my tires, and my tent frame that goes on the back of my truck. She was saying that this was the cause of all the drainage problems. When, if I'm standing right here, I'm standing on a hill. This is downhill. It goes uphill. So all of this is downhill. All of this is downhill, and it all goes down into that window well. So I do have a lot of stuff. Now, Dad repainted the picnic table nice, and I think they might be talking about my moped shack. Fair enough. There's a fair bit of clutter here, but they are registered vehicles. The ones that are out are registered vehicles, and if you want me to toss out the pocket bike, great, I'll toss it out, no problem. But this shack is made out of pallets. It does not touch the house. Okay? Does not touch the house. And it's on cinder blocks. It's a 8x4 pallet on the bottom, and we just built the sides up around it. It's all on cinder blocks. It's all off the ground. So any drainage previous to this would be the same, if not better, because we've added a whole lot of dirt in here. It used to be just concrete blocks. We pulled a lot of those out, and they were broken up concrete blocks, and we've filled in with a whole lot of dirt here. Dad's got some peas growing. I have the Halloween fog box using as a stand for my sandblaster. I don't do any of that inside because that would be horrible. But really, this is the only amount of clutter that's really left. Dad saw horses, the radio, and the sandblasting, and little tools and stuff like that. This stuff was out and on the side. It was out here because we were working on it, and this is going to be hopefully gone by Monday. We just need to get a plate on it so it's out of here legally. Other than that, here's a garden. And garbage, and again, there's no problems with these window wells. The garden soaks up a ton of it, and I've never had an issue with this one, although I do have the kids pool and some of the truck working supplies in there, and kids pool holding that stuff in there. Not a huge problem. And then, my bike's out on the front. I can move those back to the driveway if it's needed, but I generally like to be able to see them because the GPS security is just not very good, and too many people have tried to make off with these already. So shack is coming along. Just threw some pallets together. Some storage for tires up here. A couple frames and stuff up there. So, whole deal. Cinder blocks down there. So the whole deal between buying screws, the cinder blocks, is probably about $50. So I mean, you can buy tarps, or you can go scrounge some pallets and build a little shack. So I've done both now. Now, the last time we were at the Greaseball office talking with Linda, we were trying to get this step sorted out. Now, this concrete here has been taking a weather beating for quite some time. It's been falling apart, and now we've got this there to at least try and stop some of the abrasion and rocks and stuff from spewing up. Because if you do get any kind of rocks cut under here, this actually flipped around the other way. I think that's what we did to stop some of the flutter. Is very unstable and unsafe, especially in the winter. If you happen to slip on this the wrong way, that's not a safe step. I'm sorry. This was the problem that I had tried to sort out last year, and they said they were going to come take a look at it and get it fixed. Well, Linda pulled up in her car, didn't even get out of her car, took a look at the step, thought it was fine, and we haven't heard back about it. Now, this is a safety issue. One step a little bit wrong, or even if you're a heavy set person, you're going down. So this rolling step, if you get it up there, pretty good. But I mean, if it gets moved around or you get any of these rocks come up, it is a safety hazard. I tried to have this fixed. We had no good response. She gave us backlash. And again, problem not solved, and she wants us out. So most of the complaints I've tried to deal with, or most of the problems actually around here, we've tried to deal with ourselves, because it is more of a hassle and more angering to deal with Linda than it is to actually fix the problem ourselves. So, I mean, in the flood situation, we're going to have to buy a pump for the next 2 months. I mean, we have all kinds of weather problems happening right now. If we want to leave the house, we're going to have to leave pump on, which is horrible for a pump. Or some kind of water sensor to turn the pump on when there's water. But again, all of this started when she got angry when we showed up to complain about the step, the water issue again, and to get some taps done and some other things. Every time they put taps in here, they use the cheapest ones, and they don't replace the whole thing. So in another few months, it's loose and not working and leaking and dripping all night again. So yeah, just problem after problem after problem. But they don't seem to want to fix them properly or at all. And I mean, what is the use in complaining or trying to get things fixed if they're not going to do anything? They're just going to say, well, get out, we don't like you. You're too messy, get out. Sorry, that doesn't work for me anymore. And just as a note, she's got nice new steps that were done for her. Don't know how hard she had to ask for those. She's got nice new steps over there that were done for her. They're both friends? I don't know what's going on here. I asked nicely for a new step because it's a safety hazard. It's been well over a year and I've had no solution.